It's Judy. Welcome to another makeup video. This week I'm going to be trying to do a full face of makeup using just products bought from the supermarket. So if you're interested in looking at makeup products available in the UK from supermarkets, then please keep watching. If you like the video, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give it a thumbs up. And I'm just starting out, so I'm still trying to get to grips. If you have any constructive criticism for my videos, I'd be more than willing to hear them. And if you really like it, then just please comment. I'd love to hear from you and see what you think. So if you like the look of this makeup, then please keep on watching and I'll show you how I created it. Thanks very much. Okay, so we're going to start with primer. Primer is probably one of the hardest things to find at the supermarket. I've had to shop around quite a bit, and the only primer that I've actually been able to buy in my local supermarket is the Maybelline Baby Skin Instant Pore Eraser. So I've already moisturised and put on my sunscreen for the day, and my moisturiser was a supermarket moisturiser. It was the Olay Anti-Wrinkle Firm and Lift Day Cream. I need quite a lot of this because it just feels as though it needs more than my Younique primer. But there we go. And the idea is that it's supposed to help fill in some of these fine pores. So then I'm going to go in. I have suitcases building up here. And one of the things I'm finding with concealer as I get older is that those bags under my eyes, the concealer picks up all of the fine lines. I still use concealer, but what I've taken to doing just recently is adding one of these concealer pencils underneath the eye. This one's by Max Factor. It's called the CC Color Corrector, and it says it corrects under eye circles, and it's in the shade, I think this is the only shade that it comes in. There's a yellow, there's a purpley one, and there's a greeny one, and this is the yellow shade. And then on the other one I've got is the Maybelline Dream Brightening Booster in the size 01 Blanc Eclat, and it says that it's white, but it's not actually white. It's got a slight skin tone to it. So that's one we're going to use today. The yellow one I quite like, but I haven't used this one for a while, so I want to give it a shot. And literally, now when you're going under your eyes with the skin under your eyes, go very carefully because that skin is very delicate. And oh my goodness, it's looking very white. So I just go under my eyes. And if there's anywhere else that I'm a bit concerned about redness showing through, I just do a quick little dab on that. Sorry about that. I'm going to go in with my beauty blender, which is slightly dampened, and I'm just going to blend in, not too much, but just blend in that colour a little bit so that I just remove the edges off it. I don't want to lift off all of the product, I just want to soften the edges. Okay, so now then we're going to go in with foundation, and I've got 3 foundations here. I've been quite enjoying the Rimmel Match Perfections and the lasting finish. The only thing that I really object to is the fact that the supermarkets put these horrible RFID tags on them, and then I can't read half of the labels. But the Match Perfecting says invisible coverage, visibly perfected skin, and it's got an SPF of 20 in it. It also says that it's got a pore blurring effect. My other favourite is as I said, is the lasting finish. It says it's got comfort serum, and it's the Skin Perfecting Full Coverage Foundation. Again, it's got a sunscreen in it. The colours that I have here are 010 Light Porcelain, and in the lasting finish one, 100 Ivory. Just recently, I've also been trying out the Maybelline Dream Satin Liquid. It says satiny finish, poreless perfection. It's got an SPF of 13 in it, and this is the number 2 Fair Beige. So I think today I'm going to go for the Maybelline one. As you can see, I've nearly finished off the matching perfection, but I want to try something new. So I'm just going to put, I don't put things onto palettes or anything like that. I'm just going to squeeze a small amount onto my beauty blender, and we're going to start under the eyes and just tap that in. It seems quite light, but don't forget we're going over the concealer point. So a bit more. And I'm sorry if the light changes, but I'm sitting right by the window. I've got my little ring light set up to try and even it out. One thing I'll say for this foundation is it seems to be a very light coverage. So if you're in need of something for a heavy coverage, this is not the foundation for you. But on a general daily basis, I quite like this one. If I'm going out, then obviously I want something that's got a bit more coverage to it. The beauty blender that I'm using is from number 7, which I know is strictly speaking not a supermarket brand. I'm going to differentiate here. In the UK, we have supermarkets that sell makeup. So Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Morrison's, Asda, Aldi and Lidl, and a few other besides. And then we have, and they're kind of at the cheaper end of the market. And then we have kind of in the middle the pharmacy range. So that's anything from Boots, Superdrug, Lloyd's, all of those sorts of organisations. And I add into that places like the Body Shop, because the Body Shop stuff is about the same price as the pharmacy stuff. And then you get towards the high end where you either have a standalone store or in a department store, quite mostly in a department store. So Urban Decay and Benefit and those sorts of places will sell through Debenhams, and Mac sells through House of Fraser. John Lewis takes Bobbi Brown. You know, there are varying places. I'm just going to add a bit more foundation where I want a bit more coverage. But you can see I'm still me through that. So just seems to have evened out the skin tone a bit. So then I have a lot of concealers. I'm trying to use them up. So I'll just show you what I've got. I've got the 2 stick concealers that I showed you earlier. And then I have, this one's very old and very manky, but it's been doing the job for many years. It's the Maybelline Fit Concealer. And I can't tell you the shade because it's all worn off, completely worn off. I have, again, this is another old one. This is Maybelline, the Dream Lumi Touch. This is was supposed to be a dupe for the YSL Touch Eclat, and I really quite enjoy it. And then I have the Rimmel Hide the Blemish. This one's a very full coverage concealer. I think you can trust that I've gone for the lightest shade that I could find in the shop. And then this one is the Maybelline Instant Age Eraser Eye. And I absolutely love this one. This one's fantastic. So I think today what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Hide the Blemish to get this freckle just a little bit more, and some of the redness down here out of the way. I have a bit of rosacea, particularly on this cheek, and just a tiny amount on this cheek. Don't want to cover up the freckles completely because I quite like my freckles. Where's my beauty blender? Okay, and we're just going to blend that in. Okay, and then I'm just going to take the Maybelline Eraser Eye and just do a very gentle tap under the eye. I don't swipe this one too much because it does pick up all my fine lines. But there's no getting away from fine lines. I've got them, you know. I'm nearly 49. So embrace the lines. Right. So that's it for foundation. I'm not going to set this yet because there's a few other liquid products that I want to put on. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to do my trick with my eyes. Now this is the Colour Tattoo by Maybelline in the Creme de Nude. Now I've just been watching some reviews and the Creme de Nude gets a bit of a bashing. It's very thick. It's not like the Younique one is very light and goes on quite easily. This one is quite thick. Can you see? And if I don't really spread it out, it's too thick and it just cakes up. So I have to be very careful with this, but it makes a really good eyeshadow base. So again, it means that because it is so thick, it means I'm going to have this for years. So if you're looking for a product that's going to last you for a long time, then this is a good one. It's on the label, it says it lasts for 24 months, I think. Yes, 24 months. But a lot of my makeup is way out of date and I'm still using it. So only use, throw out your makeup when you're finding that it's not either not performing or it starts to smell horrible, or if it's no longer working for you. But don't just throw it out because it's gone past the use by date. How many of us actually track exactly when we bought makeup? I didn't, I do now. Okay, now eyebrows. I've got some choices for eyebrows today. I have, where are they? Come here, come here, come here. I have my old favourites, the ones that I've been relying on for many years. This one, you can see how well used it is. This is from Rimmel. It just says it's an eyebrow pencil, professional eyebrow pencil, and it sharpens really well. It's got quite a nice solid nib, so it sharpens really well. Some of them are really soft and they just break. These ones are both two of the same. They're from Max Factor, and they're again nice, quite nice. I'm just going to do a swatch for this one. So hang on, let's do the swatch for the Rimmel one first. So again, not too soft, so you can actually do some very light strokes, and it's quite a nice brown. And then this one from Max Factor is again not too soft, but quite a lot blacker, and that makes it hard for me to get a good eyebrow on it. And then I have this is Rimmel. Is it Rimmel? Yeah, Rimmel Brow This Way, a 3-in-1 ultra soft powder. Silky smooth applicator to line, define and fill. Shake before use. This is the bit that I find hysterically funny. See, when you shake it, can you hear those balls? Right? So you think, now I've mixed that up. Okay, let me just show you something. If I take the lid off this, so the product's in here, and I shake this, the balls are in here. And then finally I have from Maybelline the Brow Precise Fibre Filler. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my Max Factor eyebrow pencil and I'm just going to just kind of define. You can see how dark that is. I'm only barely touching my skin and it just is lifting off. So if I just use this on its own, I end up with the darkest eyebrows. A bit like the, well, the Younique brush is different because it's not so soft. Okay, so and then I'm going to go in with I think the Maybelline fibre fillers. I quite like this one. It's got a little, it's really weird. It kind of reminds me of the Triffids. For those of you who remember the movie Day of the Triffids, doesn't that look like the one of the spiky things that came out and attacked? Okay, so just going to brush that into the brows. Okay, so that's the eyebrows done. So again, same trick as before. As I finish with the product, I'm just going to put it away. Okay, so eyebrows. So now let's get on to eyeshadow, because supermarket shadows have a bad reputation for spilling out everywhere. Now I just need to grab some makeup brushes. So I'm just going to pause this and grab some brushes. And we're back. And the makeup brushes that I'm using is this set that I got from a company called Studio 5 London. I've also got a couple of extra brushes that I've accumulated over the year that I've just added to this. This is a nice eye crease brush from Mary Kay that was gifted to me. Right, so I'm just going to use, these are the makeup brushes I use on a daily basis, so these are the ones I'm going to use today, and I'm just going to start with my crease brush, my two fluffy brushes. So I have from Lacuna, which are the eyeshadows, Lacura, that is sold by Aldi, this one is. And this is called their Smoky Eyes palette, and you'll be shocked and surprised to discover that it's full of purples. So it gives you instructions on how to create a smoky eye. So if you want to, you can follow those, but that's a bit extreme for a day look. So I'm just going to go in with, let's see, they're all shimmers, so I have to be really careful with this. I'm just going to go in with their base shade, which is this white one, which has got a tiny amount of shimmer, and it has only got a tiny amount of shimmer, so I can get away with this one. So I'm just going to apply that. I'm not going to apply it all over my eyeshadow, my eyelid, the way that they suggest, because it just goes so wrinkly. But what I really want to do is just set that creme de nude eye tattoo that I put down to just hold it in place. So we only need the tiniest amount of that. And then I'm going to go in with, I think I'm going to go in with this lighter purple here. Let's see if I can get this on screen. There we go, the lighter purple. Same thing as with the Younique products, you know, that everyone talks about fallout. Fallout only occurs if you dig your brushes into your makeup. If you are careful with it, then you don't end up with huge amounts of fallout. And the trick is to just gently layer it up. When you put on a small amount, go back, get another small amount, go back, get another small amount until you build up to the colour level that you want. Okay, so that gives me a nice transition colour. Now, the other palette I'm going to use again is again by Lacura. I'm quite enjoying the Lacura palettes. This one is called the Eyeshadow Box 04 for blue and green eyes. So apparently if you've got blue and green eyes, this is the shadow palette for you. But the reason I chose it again is because, look, it's purples. How unusual. So what I do like about this one is that it's got there are two shades in here that are quite matte. There's this one here, which is a dark purple, quite a warm tone, and then there's a cool tone purple, but they're both dark. So if I just swatch those two for you, let's see, can I see it? Can you see those colours there? They're really quite, this one's quite powdery. This is the warmer of the two tones. This is the cool tone purple. And they have got a bit of shimmer in them, but not too much. They're almost matte. So they're quite easy to work with, she says, now that she's got eyeshadow all over her fingers. So I'm just going to go in with the darker of those two on my crease brush. Not the darker, the warmer of those two on my crease brush. Same thing as before, small amounts. And boy, look at that pigmentation. Isn't that just amazing? Look, tiny, tiny, look, tap, tap, tap. And there we go. So, you know, I think this was £3 or £4. I bought it a while ago. So, you know, not a huge investment for some really amazing colour. Okay, now that looks a bit strange, so I need to blend that in. So I'm taking my big fluffy blending brush from my Studio 5 collection and just blending that colour in. Same thing on the other side, blend. Okay. Oh, and I just have to tell you, on Saturday I went and had the most amazing full body massage from a very good friend of mine, Sarah Broman, and she did the bamboo, the hot bamboo sticks, and oh my goodness, it was gorgeous. I'll put a link for her down in the description box because it was just amazing. Came away so relaxed. Nearly fell asleep, didn't quite fall asleep. Right, you can see even with the smallest amount on my brush, I'm still getting some fallout. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a liner brush. I'm going to use an angled liner brush. And if you think I know all of the names for all of these brushes, it's only because I've been paying attention. My thank you to all of the makeup gurus on YouTube for teaching me a little bit more about makeup than I ever thought I knew. No. And I'm going to take in that bright purple at the bottom there. Again, just the tiniest amount. And we're just going to put some along the top lash. And a little bit on the bottom lash as well. Oops, sorry about that, guys. And I just find that the angle brush allows me to get into the corner of my eyes quite nicely. And then I'm going to take a pencil brush. Now, if you're wondering what a pencil brush is, it looks like a little tiny bullet. If I put it in the middle of my forehead, then you can see it, right? So it's a bullet, it's quite round, okay? But it's very small. If I compare to my fingertip, you can see that it's quite a small brush. The bristles are quite stiff, and that allows me to smudge that shadow out along my lower lash line. But Judy, you weren't going for a smoky eye look. Oh, well, sometimes that happens. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that crease brush again. Whoops. Oh, it won't fall any further. And I'm just going to go into that bright purple as well. And we're just going to take that a little bit up into the crease. And then take my big fluffy brush again and just smoke that out, blend it in. Don't want it to be too harsh. And that's where I'm going to stop with eyeshadow for today. I will come back to this palette in just a bit, but not right now, because the next step is to do eyeliner. Now, I don't have any supermarket liquid liners. Not really got on well with liquid liners over the years. So what I have is a Rimmel soft kohl pencil in a dark brown. Is it dark brown? I think it's a dark brown. It says 09 sable brown. And I'm just going to get in really close and I'm just going to line the top of my lid. And then smudge a little bit out. Not on the waterline, just under the waterline. And this will just make my eyelashes look just that little bit longer. I have what they refer to as very sparse eyelashes. And the reason I use the Rimmel eyeliners is because they don't make my eyes water so much. I really quite like them for that. So then I've been hunting around for the perfect mascara until I found the Younique 3D Fibre Lash. I was always looking for the perfect mascara. So I have 3 to choose from here. I have the, this is the, oh no, that one's not supermarket, can't use that one. Oh, didn't pay attention when I was getting that one out of the box. This one is the Maybelline Falsies Volume Express. And I had to buy it because it was purple, didn't I? This one is the Max Factor Masterpiece Max. Now I got this as part of a kit, part of a general offer. It was in a buy 2 items, get this little gift free. And I like the mascara. The only problem that I have with it is that it is not waterproof. So with my eyes and the way they water, as soon as I step outside, I end up with looking like a panda. So this one, unfortunately, if it were waterproof, I would absolutely love it. But you know, it came in a little gift pack, so I'm not going to complain too much. Well, I probably am. But this one has got a really weird shaped wand. Can you see that? It's not straight. So that can be useful. It can be a pain in the butt. But there's several things. First of all, I can start my eyelashes and get all along the top coat all at once. And then once I've got a reasonable coating on the top, see there's a bit of fallout, I can then turn it over and make sure that those middle lashes are fully coated. And then I can turn it back, and because it's got a curve on it, I can just get into those little fine ones that are on the inner corner of my eye and the outer corner of my eye without stabbing myself. Okay. Same thing on the other eye. Start with it following the curve. Then once it's got a good coating, turn it over Make sure those middle lashes are well and truly covered. And then I can go in with a tip and just pick up the inner corner lashes and the outer corner lashes for full coverage. Then I just do the bottom lashes. And that's my eye look done for the day. Now, what I will do is just take my dampened beauty blender, which is still quite damp, and just use it to clean up. Usually I wait until the mascara has actually dried, silly woman. And if I need to, then I just take my eye eraser again and just touch up where I've stuffed up everything. Okay, now we haven't set our face yet because I bought a while ago a Rimmel blush from the supermarket, thinking that it was a powder. And didn't read the bit on the bottom where it says cream blush. Cream. Read the packaging, Jude. Jeez. So, once I got it home, I thought I'd have a shot and see how it goes. So you can see it's not very well used. I'm just going to take a tissue and clean off a bit of that. It's quite a pretty colour. I thought what I would do is just put a little tiny amount and see what that does to my powder blush once I've powdered my face. See if it just deepens it and keeps it going for the day. I try not to replace the rosacea that I have on my cheeks, so I go from my pupil out. And if you're wondering where the apples of your cheeks are, you smile, and it's this little curvy bit here. Okay. So then I also have a cream highlighter. It's the only highlighter I've got from the supermarket. This is the Max Factor Masterpiece Colour Precision Eyeshadow. Now, I can't wear this as an eyeshadow, but look at this. If I put that on my cheek and pat that in, dang, look at that highlighter. Isn't that amazing? It's just a really nice, subtle sheen. Okay, so same thing on the other side. Bring it in. Tap it in. And then put the excess on the tip of my nose. So there we go. There's the highlighter and a bit of the blush. So now we need to powder the face. And I have one powder. I didn't have a powder. I didn't have a supermarket powder. So I actually had to buy one the other day. And it seems to have just gone walk about. Ah, there we go. Walk about on my desk. So this is the Maybelline New Matte Maker Mattifying Powder in the shade 10 Classic Ivory. So I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. This one is so soft. This is by an Australian company called Thin Lizzy. It's not supermarket, but like I said, supermarkets are almost impossible to buy good brushes from. Dirty Works has some stuff, but actually I've not really got on very well with the Dirty Works brushes. So this one's just a nice, very fluffy brush. I'm just going to take some powder. Powder over my face. I'm missing my eyes at the moment because what I'm just going to do is I'm going to take my dampened beauty blender, swipe that into the powder, get quite a lot on there, and then pat that in under the eyes. And I am assured but by patting powder under the eyes and leaving it to sit there, the concealer won't settle into all those fine lines. I have to say, I can't expect miracles, but we work with what we've got, don't we? Right. The drawback to that is that it does cover up a bit of that highlighter. Oh well. Right, so while that powder bakes in, I'm just going to take, again, I didn't have a supermarket bronzer, so I picked up the other day the Maybelline Master Sculpt palette, and this is in the shade light to medium, 01 light to medium. And you can see it comes with a bronzer, kind of contour, and a highlighter. So I'm just going to take, I've got two Thin Lizzy brushes. This is the one that I keep aside for dark. And the only way I can tell the difference is that one's got light powder on it, one's got dark powder on it. And I'm just going to take that, run that through the contour side of the palette. And then I'm just going to, the technique is to hold it so that it's a chisel shape. And then we're just going to brush in a bit of that shadow. Take it up the side and up over the top, and now I can let go of it, and then I can blend it all in. Right. And then I'm going to do a little bit under the chin, although these days I don't need to do that quite so much because I don't have the double chin. Yay! And then I'm just going to take a small brush, doesn't really matter which one, I'm just going to dab it in a little bit and just go down the side of my nose ever so slightly. Don't want to make my nose too thin because it's already quite thin and long, thank you. And then I'm just going to take that Thin Lizzy brush again and blend it in a bit. Okay, so now that I've done that, that powder is probably well and truly baked, so I'm just going to take off any excess that we've got. I'm going to go in with highlighter next. So again, take the Thin Lizzy brush, and this time do the same, hold it the same way so it still forms a chisel, and this time we're going to go at the top of the cheeks and just add a little bit of highlight. It's a very subtle highlight, this one. It's not in your face. This is not a highlighter to wear if you want to go out and have everyone go, look at my face. But it's a nice gentle highlighter, and it goes in quite nicely with the bronze, obviously, because it's the same thing. Right, so I now have two blushes here, both from Max Factor. They are the Creme Puff blush. One is in Lovely Pink and the other is in Gorgeous Berries, 30 Gorgeous Berries or 05 Love Plush. So the Love Plush, don't know if you can see that, but it's got a slight gold hue. Yes, it's showing up. You can see a slight gold hue to it. So you get a bit of shimmer as well as a bit of pink. And then the Gorgeous Berries is quite a bit darker, with quite a burgundy shade to it. So if I just swatch those, let's see if we go. And the idea is that the two colours mix together on your skin. See, they come up quite, that one, the Gorgeous Berries comes up quite dark, but once it goes onto the cheek, it just blends in to a gorgeous deep. Now that one I save for when I'm going out. It's a very in-your-face kind of dark. So I think today we're going to go for the, what did I say? Lovely Pink. Okay, So let's put the gorgeous berries down. And I have this is a Max Factor. No, it's not Max Factor. This is a Mary Kay cheek brush. Again, I've had this brush for years, absolutely years. And we're just going to take that in and do a light dusting on the cheek. And then I just do a little tiny hint in the temples. Try and make myself look less bald. Okay, so we're nearly at the end now, which is pretty good because I think we're running to quite a lot of time here. So I'm just going to do another quick coat of mascara because now that lot's probably dried. I can do a second lot of mascara. That's lovely. And now we're going to do lips. Now, lips are one of the things that if you're not careful, you can end up with hundreds of lips. So I have a selection. Some of these are very old and some of them are very new. I've just recently found myself getting into liquid lipsticks because liquid lipsticks claim to dry down completely so that when I kiss someone, they don't transfer. Now, that my 7-year-old thinks that's absolutely marvellous. So I'm kind of you'll be shocked and surprised to discover, I'm a pinky purples type of person. So I have several here. I've really quite enjoyed, over the years, I've quite enjoyed these ones. These are from Maybelline. Yep, both of these are Maybelline. That one I think is, hang on. Yeah, okay, we'll get on to that one. So these two are from Maybelline. And again, why do they have to put these horrible RFID tags on them? You can't keep them off. They just destroy the look of the lipstick completely. I mean, look at that. That side's quite pretty. And that one looks quite pretty. But as soon as you turn it round, you've got this horrible manky RFID tag on it. Horrible. So anyway, this one is in the shade 842 Rosewood Pearl. And it is a nice, gentle, nudie colour. Can you see that? I've got high enough? Yeah, there we go. And then this one is in the shade 932 Clay Crush. And it's a bit deeper and a bit more orange. I don't wear this one quite so much. It looked great in the supermarket. This is one of the trials. When you're trying things on in the supermarket, you are working under an artificial light. So then I've got, now this one, this is Boutique. Now Boutique is Sainsbury's own brand makeup. And this was ever so cheap. Please don't ask me how much because I can't remember. But it's in the shade Gift of the Gab. And it's a really nice deep plum. That's it there at the bottom there. Really nice colour. Great when you're going out. Probably a bit dark for me today. And then my other final lipstick is from Rimmel. And this is in the shade 084 Amethyst Shimmer. This one I quite like as a daytime because it looks really dark on the stick. But when you put it on, it's quite a gentle pink. But then I've discovered that, you know, I really need them to stay. So I tried out the Max Factor. I don't even know what colour this is. It's a long-lasting one. And it comes with... it comes with this gloss stick that's supposed to go over the top. So the two together are supposed to form a lipstick. And it's in, again, it's a nice nudie shade. It looked really nice in the bottle and it looked quite nice in the supermarket. But when I wear it, it's just the wrong shade of nude for me. So I don't wear that one very often. If I do, I team it with, you know, a coloured gloss or something that will make it be that much more appealing. So I think today, even though the colour is probably not right for this, this is the it's the Maybelline Vivid Matte Liquid. And by colour, can't see what it is. And the shade is 45 Possessed Plum. And there we go. It's quite a sheer lipstick. Looks really dark in the container. But you'll see when it goes on quite sheer. Now my lips aren't in the best condition, so and there we go. That's the colour there. So that is the complete look for today. I'm just going to take off my ears and straighten my hair out. One of the things about having brightly coloured hair is that your makeup kind of has to tone in with it. So there we go. I will brush my hair and make it look reasonable before I step out of the door. But that is my final look for the day. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. I hope that you learned something from this. And if there's anything that you would like some detail on, or you would like me to try anything out, then please let me know. I have just placed an order for a whole face of new makeup from one brand, so I'm really excited to look forward to seeing that when it turns up, so that I can try that out and do a comparison for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I look forward to talking to you again. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you again. Bye. Okay, I'm just going to do a check-in. The time is about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I thought I'd show you how things are wearing. So you can see that on my eyelids, particularly this one, the shadows have lifted off my eyelids. Mascara is holding up quite well. Reasonably impressed with the foundation. Hasn't settled too much into any of my fine lines. No more than I would expect from any foundation. But you can see around the chin here, there's quite a bit of popping and peeling and going slightly crusty. Overall, it's not holding up all that well. The eyebrows are holding up okay. And the lipstick is crumbly and worn off. So I'll need to do a retouch up before the end of the day. Quite impressed with how well the contour and blush and highlighter are showing up. Just to give you some context, I've been out wandering around the village putting signposts up for this weekend's village market. So a lot of cold wind blowing into my eyes, which of course sets my eyes watering, and that's what causes the eyeshadow to crease up. Left eye is held up better than my right eye. But not bad. Not as good as I would expect makeup to last. So I won't be checking in with this again because I'm going to touch it up and then it won't count. So thanks very much for watching. Bye.